Hello, pilgrims. Stay a while, sit down, make yourself a brew. We're back with Banished and Colonial Charter mod. And yes, we're working at incredibly high speed at present because, oh, it's a mess, friends. It's a bit of a disaster once again. So at the end of the last episode, I'd set, well, a lot of projects in motion, and I promised to come back to you once some of them had moved along. But as you can see, I've got 183 working people, so of working age, and 106 of those people don't have tools. Yep, once again, we are out of tools, and the reason for this is because we're on a single mine, which, firstly, it should provide enough metal in order to get these tools made. The problem is, or the problem has been, and I'm some way towards rectifying this now, this won't be another let's do nothing while we wait for things to be solved. I'm just going to fill you in, and then I'll skip forward to where things are happening again. But I thought you'd like to see this part anyway. So here we go. It's people using their bare hands down here to quarry stone. Good, solid commitment there. Here's our mine, of which obviously some people there also don't have tools, and they're going as fast as they can. Now, part of the problem is that the blacksmith immediately next to it, right there, is waiting for iron in order to be upgraded. Once that's upgraded, I will immediately turn its attention to making tools, so that we can get everyone back to work properly. But previously it was kicking out tools, which obviously were going straight to the places that needed them the most, and people were happy and getting on with it. The second problem was that due to the rearrangement of quite a few things that I've got going on at the moment, I know I've bought those already. I don't need any more. Yes, due to the various rearrangements that are going on at the moment, I've got quite a hefty queue as far as building is concerned. Now, this has dropped from 60, which is where I picked things up. Yeah, I know, 60 building projects. Ooh, I don't learn. The good news, such as it is that since upping the amount of food that could be stored, I now have so much food stored I can feed everybody for the next kind of 3 or 4 years. So what I might do in the short term, and part of the problem that I had, actually, to finish off that thought before starting a fresh one, was that I had very few, if any, labourers available. So the iron that was being generated over here wasn't getting anywhere useful. Nowhere useful was getting hold of it in the slightest. Come on, look, we need another 7. Another 7 of iron in there, and we can turn this all around. So yes, food, not a problem, and in fact, since upping the tempo on the food there, things have picked up a little. Those of you who were expecting my sheep to all die at the docks, good job, well played, they did. I'm gonna have to order some more sheep. So yeah, that's a fun thing. Yes, problems, but you know, we'll fix that in the fullness of time. Okay, so there you go. That's more or less the state of play. I'm hoping I get a merchant turn up who wants to sell me some tools. That would be very helpful. What's your problem? You've got no one working in the melting house. Oh, I'm over that. Not like I care. It's not like you make me much money anyway. You're a luxury item, my friend. Yeah, so I've cut back on foresting jobs. I might cut back a little more given that we're still kind of positive. Stonecutters, likewise, I'm going to ease off just to get the labouring up so that all the mine that's being mined, all the iron that is being generated, actually starts to kind of percolate through, because we are not getting any tools being made in the slightest. We'll rebound from this, but it'll take a couple of minutes. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes when all this is rebounded. Stay tuned. Okay, so I am back a little earlier than advertised. Problems are still ongoing. I'm probably 6 or 7 minutes ahead of where we were before. I just thought I'd stop because we've got 3 infestations going on here. Figs, grapes, grapes. Clearly only affecting fruit. It has totally bypassed the olives here. I know there's some figs. They'll get it next, I'm sure. Yes, woes continue. Now, here's something else that I missed when I was talking before. This iron mine's still going. Right, so there really is no excuse. Clearly, I have been using iron for something else, and I don't know what. It's unusual that I would run low in this fashion. Now, I suspect this might be a vicious cycle in the sense that with a Keeley placed. Can you say that? Hold on. Here we go. Look, iron tools, iron tools, iron tools, steel tools. Oh, I don't make coal. Stuff it. Iron tools. There we go. Right. Good. Large smithy. Finished. Good. Blacksmith. Go. I will employ everyone as a blacksmith. Meanwhile, you lot get back to being unemployed. Good. Right. So I'm going to crack on. We'll, you know, I'll be back again if further disaster strikes. What's going on here? Nomads? No. Clear off. Not interested. No. No to nomads. It's a robust policy that has got me this far. Yes. Really? Ah, now, you see, I was given to believing that this smithy could do joists. So that I can get the joist chaps going. Standard Orchard has developed an infestation. Oh, that's a joy. Which one? Which one have I missed? Click. That one. Click. That one. I've already flagged this one for demolition. It's fine. It's all good. Yes, okay. Stay tuned continually. More will happen. Well now, we're back in business. So we have tools. Once again, we have iron flowing. Part of the means by which I made this happen is I cut farming to the quick, which I may or may not live to regret. Who knows? But I've still got 31,000 food, and if I recall correctly... Oh, hold on. There's a handy trailer. Trader. That's the chap. He's not selling anything I want right now. Yes, so let's ease the pace back a bit while this is all happening, shall we? Okay, yes, a bit of an erratic start to proceedings today, but what else have you come to expect? So, as you can see, the glorious patchwork field entity here has, well, it's, you know, it's taken some doing, and I'm having a tough time getting herdspersons. See, I've got 10 herdspeople of 7 to look after my new cows. Unless I need, like, rancher or cowboy, or... Are they called something else if they look after cows? Right, 0 of 2, potentially. Well, it also says I've got 10, which is the limit that I've set, and I have herdsperson, herds, and I've got 10. So not entirely sure what's going on there. I'm going to need someone to start working there before the cows die. Oh, hold on. Undisable it. Work. There we go. Right, good. Fine. That's all good. We're all good here. Excellent. Right, okay. There we go. We're back under control on that front. Do I now have too many herdsmen in operation? I do. Right. Let's put one of them back into the general labour pool. Likewise, hunters I've decreased. Miners I upped in order to get over this this problematic hump. And ditto for builders. I made sure that I upped the tempo on builders to try and muscle through the shortcomings that I have at the moment. Now, in other news, I have done some research to find out why this large smithy cannot make me joists, which is annoying. The reason being that a new building was introduced called the Foundry or the Forge. I'm not totally convinced I've come across one of those, but I imagine they exist somewhere. What have we got? Cooper. No, they make barrels. Shipyard. Not quite ready for ships just yet. Brick. No. Gem. No. Chandlery. No. Glassworks. No. Melting house. Statue carver. Foundry. Right. I need one of these. Hold on. He needs 15 something or other. Well... Let's have a look. Okay, so I need a foundry in order to make joists, which will allow me to make building supplies, which will allow me to make the houses that I'm trying to build. Are you with me so far? Except there's nowhere good to put this. I want to reshape this entire area, and therefore I'm not going to place it just yet. It's just going to have to wait. What's going on here? Oh, Donavonte. The stone cutter was crushed by a rock. Poor lad. Or lady. Don't know. Meanwhile, we can get to removing some of this stuff now. and free up some space. So we're getting closer. It's now simply a case of what's going on here? There's my winery. What do you not have? You need more grapes. Well, the infestation that occurred moments ago, I dealt with. Remove the fields, so these are coming back up again. But we're now short on farmers. I've got 16 labourers. What if I crop this back to, I don't know, 5? Let's up the tempo on farming again. Because as much as I've got over a year's worth of supply left, as far as farming is concerned, I don't want to run out. But I'm going to keep my miners cranked up. Because I'm fed up of running out of tools. It's a big drag on the entire economy. So, with all this under control and me having paused for breath momentarily, let's review, shall we? We've got the llamas who need relocating. This field is done. Good. Right, let's get rid of that. Yep, your history. There we go. And that's going to be, the thing that I keep an eye out for on a regular basis for the moment. Is no, don't bother working that. You go and work somewhere else. Let's get rid of this field as well. There we go. Happy. All right, and this should reactivate some of the fields over here. That's looking a bit better, as well as the orchards, which we were just looking at, and that should help us start to pick back up again. As you can see, we've now got some iron in store. We've got tools in store. Excellent. Fuel's a bit of a worry, but I'm not too concerned. I've lost about 1,000 stored logs. Now, I've got an aggressive building campaign going on, which is possibly part of the problem there. That said, these 27 builders, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. 18 of them are here, and they need furnishings. Which I believe I need joists in order to... It's ridiculous. And wonderful. Definitely wonderful. I bought some cows while you were away, so I've got cows on the go because, hey, milk. That's a thing. People like milk. Milk's a positive thing. Whoa, what's going on? Melting house. I'm still not putting you back to work. So having labourers at the moment is positive, but I do want to start easing back up my farming contingent to make sure that the worst doesn't happen. Likewise, woodcutters, no, the foresters, that's the fellas. There you go. We'll get foresters back on the go as well. There we go. That's then topped back up because running out of wood's a complete drag. Right. So to recap, it feels like that's all I'm doing these days. But anyway, to recap. We're going to remove the rest of this gubbins here, and then I shall relay the roads and do a little more smoothing. I know there are those of you who watch many of the series that I put on and know that I smooth, therefore I am. What are you? You're a bakery. Yes. No, that's fine. Are you allowed to exist? Possibly. Possibly allowed to exist. Got to make them homeless. That's not going to be great for them. I can shut the winery down now, though. I think now is not the time for luxury behaviour. All right, let's flag that for demolition. I've closed my professions window. Good. Ever the professional. No, don't need that one closed. I want whichever one I want. That one, and I need. I think it's there. We go. Right, good. Winery. Who makes me wine? A vintner. Right, let's put him back into the labour pool. So yes, we're on the path to recovery, and that's a pod. I don't care about nomads, but I'm going to town hall anyway. I want to see what we've got in stock, because I've got 13,000 stored textiles, and I'm curious to know what exactly is falling under that umbrella. Inventory by quantity items in storage. Alright, let's try that again, shall we? By quantity items in storage. Right, no, cotton. Cotton probably counts, but I do have a weaver who should be weaving. Please hold. Weaver, 1. Okay, maybe I need to up my weaver quotient a touch in order to get that moving properly. Well, we'll come to it. I've got 822 barrels just kicking around, waiting to be filled full of booze. This is a good thing. And I think that's, you know, this new area that I'm working on, you know, I want to build a sense of community, people, about this place, and I can't help but think that putting up a tavern or something along those lines might work in my favour. What else can you make? Okay, you basically just make flour. Now, on the subject of flour, last time we built this windmill, wheat, plenty of, and in here, flour, absolutely tons of it, along with wheat as well. So I'm going to need bakers galore in order to get that up to ramming speed. And all I'm making right now is this hardtack bread. But with cows on the go, this surely allows real bread or cheese bread. I look forward to it. Now I'm going to need is there a creamery? No, dairy worker. So I need a dairy. Now I'm not going to need it for a while because obviously, you know, 2 cows currently. But I imagine they can produce milk already. Let's have a look here. Raw food, food refining, dairy, dairy. One of these will look like a dairy. I don't need to preserve the cows. The cows are just what's that? Oil press. Dairy. Makes buttercream and cheese from milk. Brilliantly. So, given me cows are here, a dairy about there would be good. But it's all right. I'm not going to push the button. Although I might see what's required to make it in the first place. You need some of this, some of that, and some of the other. All right. I've got some of this. I've got some of that. What's the other? I've actually got all of that. Given that some of it isn't actually available, and given that the dairy really does need to fit here, let's plonk it in. There we go. Committed. Likewise, I think another one of these little dockside houses, because I need to get my population back up again. Question is, where do they live? Because they don't live. That's fences. Where's the port dock walls buildings? There we go. Key barn? No. Key locker? No. Key dry storage? No. Fishery? Brewery? You will be in my future. No, all I want is a house. Right, a quayside house. There we go. You'll fit in there, I would have thought. And in fact, I'm gonna go overboard and I'm gonna place a couple of them. I have a hard time believing that'll fit in there, but it looks like it will. I like it. This has got a kind of you know, an aging medieval London-ish, Britain anyway, kind of a feel to it. I'm on board with that. Good. Right. So that should allow me to increase my civilian count, which is already looking all right. Yeah, let's put another couple of farmers to work. What else are we missing? Stone cutters? No, I've got positive stone coming in. A trader? No. Vendor? Yes. Speaking of traders, what are you selling? You're selling all kinds of nonsense. I'm tempted to splash out and buy a native artifact, but honestly, it's not something I need right now. What can I order from you? Nothing I really want. This looks like luxury items to me. Possibly because it's luxury items. Anyway, yeah, thanks for stopping by. Go away. Send me someone, you know, useful. And I still need sheep. Still need sheep. Yes, those of you predicting the death of sheep. Yeah, you called that. Good job. Well played. Right, how's this creamery coming along? Waiting for haulage. Oh no, we're still removing trees at the moment. Oh, that's okay. What about over here? Waiting for glass and brick. Fine. What about player 2? Getting stone. Nice. See, it feels to me like I've placed those quite close together. I wonder if they will actually fit, or whether I'm going to create some kind of horrible abomination of a home. We'll find out, I expect. Okay, so we've got fruit stall going on there, which is quite nice. It's keeping those chaps fruited. But I want to move these... I want to move all of this eventually. These guys less urgent than this lot here. And I think as soon as these two houses are up, I'm going to demolish this house, and these guys can fend for themselves. I mean, it's cruel, but that will allow me to progress a little further. In fact, while I'm waiting for that to happen, I want to remove some road, which is this one, so I can start getting a feel for future expansion. Any more road worth? Where are you? Where have you been? Where have you been? Where are you going? Oh, it's my working crew. Oh, good job, working crew. But I'm still curious as to where you were before. What were you doing hanging out over here? What have I built for you that's so fascinating? Oh, there are a couple of farmers. Fine. That's a key barn. Huh. Joiner, stonecutter. Joiner? The Joiners is right away over the other side of town. Small market. Ah, yes, good. Well, it's good to see markets actually working. And as I expand back up again, markets are going to be something I pay much more attention to, because, you know, my placement originally was flawed, I think is a generous way to describe it. Yeah, no interest was paid to where markets were in relation to where people actually needed them to be. Meanwhile, here's the new chicken farm. 48 chickens on the go. That's a healthy bunch of chickens there. These cows, you know, better start getting jiggy with it. The bison have restocked themselves as well. 17 bison on the go. I'll find something to turn them into. Quite what? The dairy is complete. Right, excellent. Dairy work. Let's go. So, I mean, I don't exactly know how much milk I'm going to be generating off the back of 2 cows. I know milk doesn't come from the cow's back. But yeah, I mean, that'll get going when it sees fit to do so. Right, more farmers. And here's the thing with farming is, if I end up oversupplying, I'll stick a bunch of it up for sale. But if we do another quick town hall kind of visit here, let's go production. Here we go, food. So we produced 26,000, and no, we produced 13. We're using 26,000. There we go. That's the way to describe it. And obviously, this is the lean years where I haven't got full staffing going on. So I'm pretty comfortable with where that's at. Yeah, I think there's positive things to come. I need to up my stone production a little, but then again, you know, this all feels a little holding pattern to me. While I wait for the time to be right. Oh, that's a new house. Now, did another one get built there as well? I guess not. Oh, no, there's the other one. So how's this going to work? Have they both... they built on top of each other. The question is that going to break everything? I mean, you know, I don't know if people can live in parallel dimensions or not. I imagine we'll find out, but this might break the game, which would be nice, and, you know, bad at the same time. Fortunately, that was an autosave that just kicked in there, so should that happen, we'll revert back by a minute or two, and then we'll pretend it didn't happen. But I'm curious to see whether the game now falls on its face. No, look, here we go, 2 people in there. And more people in there. Okay, well, that's an incredibly efficient use of housing there. Mental note for quayside houses. Give them a little bit more time to get built before you place the next one. Right, okay, you're out of here, pal. I've had enough of you. Go, be gone. Now, I need a foundry in order to build these houses, but that's not going to stop me plotting out where they're going to be. So the goal, and this is where we'll aim to get to before the end of today, is houses galore, and then more houses, and then an inner ring where we start putting all of our craftspersons. And those craftspersons will be the ones that I'm going to relocate from this original section here. I know, this is, you know, little short of radical. Right, okay, let's have a look at smoothing this section out here, shall we? What do you want? We're selling coats. I'm actually alright for coats at the moment. But thank you. You could turn up next time I'm short of coats. Pay attention to the climate and swing by at an appropriate time. Right, flatten tool, no. This is the super duper flatten tool, which I don't want to use. That's the one I've been using by the dockside. As it says, it's incredibly powerful, and as such, it is not one to use willy-nilly. In fact, if we have a look here, right? So if I do that, I don't think anything bad can come out of that. Let's have a look. We'll see. Shouldn't be. I mean, if it works like flattening, or, you know, drag flattening in other games, what should happen here is they'll identify this starting marker as where I want to flatten to, so the height that I want to flatten to, and then do the necessary. As you can see, the team have turned up to cut the trees down. That in itself quite helpful. If this goes wrong, I will have a ruddy great hole here. But I have faith in the system working in the way I anticipate. And you know what? They've done a dandy job at clearing those trees. In fact, let's while we're about it, let's get rid of those as well if we can. Not that I really need to. I'm a believer in keeping people busy, keeping them on their toes. Let's add another person in there, and then let's continue upping the tempo on that. Herdsman, we're good now. Hunter, I'll add one more back in. Stone cutter, I'll add one more back in. And it leaves me 4 labourers, which is less than I prefer. Right, so how are we looking? You can't get. I mean, that looks pretty flat to me. What do you think? Does someone else need to come up and wave a magic wand or something to make that work? Because I recall, having done it previously, that I now need to basically cancel this. Oh, chap with a hoe there I thought might be up for it. No, I think I can cancel this quite safely. Cancel removal of all of that. No, that didn't do it. Or maybe it's remove structures. I think these are treated. There you go. See, treated like a structure. Right, that's. I don't know if that's on a slant or not. I don't think it is. I think that's just a little bit of darkened texture, which, when you look at it at an angle, implies that there is a slope there. Right. Anyway, right. What are we building here? Office of townhouses. Oh, aren't we swanky? So let's get a bunch more of those booked in. Now, where do we want them? That's the question. I think it's there, isn't it? One. What do we got? 6? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's almost like I measured it. Except I didn't. I basically just got lucky. Right, okay, cool. That's fine. Oh, you see, yeah, flattening aesthetic plaza piece. No, that's not the way to go. Right, let's mash this across here and then down there, and then we can start to get a feel for the shape of this perimeter that we're knocking together. Meanwhile, I want that out of here. Get rid of the roads. I'm going to plaza this. I'll do something, decorative. There's a thing. Right, roads. And yes, I know there are those of you who, you know, question the wisdom in stone roading everything, but I like it. Plus the additional zippiness with which my happy-go-lucky folk will get around the place is worth the investment, frankly. In fact, for now, I'm going to take this all the way down here. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going with it, but I want the space back in the middle. What are you? Remove roads. Ah. There you go. Yeah, get rid of all of that. And then we should build another one in parallel coming down here. Right, and this gives us our play area, friends. So, we've gone 6-6 there, so obviously we'll have a 6-6 at the other end, and I'll probably make that 12-12. Couple of markets. Happy. And then crafters. Now, the question is, do I, maybe I stick all of these on pause. I think, hey, see, there you're thinking. That would be brains at use there. Not to mention the fact that all of these are stocked up and ready to construct. They just need furnishings, which yes, okay, this is definitely the plan. This is now something that I have decided is happening. Right, so hold on. We've got another useless friend ready to sell us a load of old nonsense. He keeps coming back, this bakery supplier. If there's one thing I don't need, it's baking supplies. Stone me, my bread bin runneth over. Right, more houses. Officer townhouses. I know, you're going to say, well, this is a bit excessive. You are setting yourself up for a population explosion. And indeed I am. But there is madness to the method, and that fundamentally is that I'm not going to let these get built for a bit. So I'll extend these every time I want to extend the population. That's the new plan here. Right, so they all back onto each other, which means that, you know, this kind of rear pathway section is going to be just muggings and knife crime before no time at all, but this does give me, I mean, like, look at that, for a housing estate is what I'm basically building here. Right, now we stone road across here. I think that's right, and a bit more over there. Fortunately I can cope with that. I might need a bit more stone. So let's send someone else to their death in the quarry, shall we? Stone cutter. There you go. And then we can start to look at the important buildings that we actually need to get going. Right, refined resources. No, it's not. It's not in. It is in. It's in there. It's this one. Right. Do you need a water source, baby? Oh, look at that, it's going to sit on the end. Well, that's going to work quite nicely. I'm going to stick it right there. Okay, good. So we can somewhat ignore. No, we can't somewhat ignore, because it's taken into account I've cancelled the instructions on those, so that's all right. I was about to say that I could ignore the building queue, but I'm not going to ignore the building queue. Right, you need lumber. Now, I'm not making lumber at the moment, and I've got a bit of a fuel shortage going on. Do we chance it? That said, what have I got in the inventory here? Because I think I'm selling firewood. Yeah, see, I've got 300 firewood here, so let's set that to a big fat 0. Will you just let me big fat 0 that myself? There we go. Right, which will flood the market with that stuff again. Meanwhile, these chaps go into lumber, please. See, look, this is all working rather well. Although I do have a bit of a wood shortage going on. Now, I'm hoping that's because of the amount of things that I've just commissioned. We'll see. I actually had 15 lumber already. In which case, those chaps can get back to firewood. You missed your chance, friends. They are back to firewood. Already had the lumber in stock. Okay, right, there we go. So, next up is a bit more houses. I'll just show you the next kind of thinking, and then we'll wrap it up. It's been a funny old day. Here we go. So we'll do another row of 2s down here. In fact, let's spin it round. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And then let's put all of these on pause. And you're thinking this is Madness Incorporated. Well, maybe it's Madness Incorporated, but it's a scheme that I'm going to try out. And if it works, then you may all, bask in my splendor. If, however, I'm wrong, then, well, it'll be business as usual. That's what'll happen if I'm wrong. I'll get rid of that. Yes, okay, so with that, we'll put a second row in here. In fact, let's get those booked in as well, just for spacing purposes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could count in my head. 6, there we go. Yeah, I know, that's a skill I have. Yeah. And one of those and one of those. Now, the question is, of course, should I put a market here in order to catch the edges? In fact, let's have a quick look at the trading situation. I think there's a high chance I'm going to need a really big market. So, a central. Oh no, I'm not. Look at the radius on that bad boy. Right, that can live right in the middle. So when I've done another 6 down there, you can see the shape of the square that we're going to get out of it. In this central market, if anything, it's a little bit overkill. And that's a good thing. What else have we got options-wise here? I just want, a nice little local something, a rural market, small market. Yeah, there we go. That's a bit more like it. So, so I could do one here to service this side, and then another one in the opposing corner. Right, and I have yet to decide whether this is going to end up. Ooh, see, now I'm looking. I'm trying to wrap the episode up here, but I keep seeing things that are interesting. Trade. What are you selling? More cows. French onion seeds. I don't believe I have those. I'd like some, though. Maybe not now. Maybe another time. I know, rarely do I pass up that kind of an offer. Right, no. Yes. What I want to do here is just do a quick measure to see if I can get 6 in there. So that's 1. Let's turn the right way. 1. And then 2, I guess. 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe I don't need to complete it. No, that looks like it's going to be 4 or 5 there. Maybe up to 6 here. No, I don't need to complete it. That's fine. So maybe I'd go, 18 across. Whew, it's going to be a big one. Anyway, that's where we're going to get to. I've had enough. This'll do. That'll do. That's your lot. Thank you very much for watching today. I've been Colonel Failure. Out of the jaws of defeat, once again, we bring further clinging on for dear life. We'd have it no other way. And, oh, look, my foundry's up. Who's working here? That's going to be a blacksmith, presumably. Yeah, right. Let's max that out. Joists, please. Oh, God, they need coal. Oh, that's a drag. Right, okay, let's set this mine to coal now. There we go. And that way, I won't be wondering why that's not working until later. Anyway, thank you for watching. I've been Colonel Failure. I've said that already. Chuck us a like on this one, please. Every like you throw at these videos encourages further people to watch them. It helps YouTube track them down and present them to other people. And therefore, it's very helpful. So if you could chuck us a like, that'd be great. Subscribe if you've not done so already, so you can you can watch more erratic comings and goings in the land of Banished. I'll catch up with you very soon. Thank you for watching. Let's find something to look at. Have some deer. Cheerio.